I'm here with Steve Blank, and we're talking a little bit today about speed and tempo. But before we do, I wanted to ask Steve, why is customer development important? Why can't we just keep doing things the way we've done the last 8, 10, 20 years? Why do you think something has to be done differently today?
Well, that's a great question. If we had infinite money and infinite time, we really don't have to change the way we do things. It used to be in the old days that if you executed and spent a year or two working on your product and found out that no one wanted it, the venture capital community would traditionally give you another round of funding. Funding went into $5, $10, $20 million numbers. Nowadays, that's kind of harder for everybody. VCs don't have that capital, and certainly startups aren't seeing that amount of dollars. So therefore, you want to figure out how to fail fast and early. And you want a process that enables you to stay in business with a small amount of cash.
Great. Now, you've written a book, 4 Steps to the Epiphany, but you've also talked a little bit about the secrets behind Silicon Valley. What's the secret behind 4 Steps to the Epiphany? What's the story that people don't necessarily know about that book?
Well, it's funny you asked that. You're the first one to ever figure it out. It turns out the 4 Steps to the Epiphany, which is called my book about customer development, was actually my class notes from my Berkeley class. And I kept having tens, then hundreds of students asking for copies for them to take and them to give to their friends. And since I sit on the board of cafepress.com that actually does just-in-time printing, we actually printed up my course notes, and then somebody told me how to put it on Amazon, and 10,000 copies later, it's now, quote, a book. But for those of you who read it, yes, there are unfinished sentences, which you can make up the ending to your own simply because they were my course notes, unedited.
Excellent. Awesome. So you mentioned that you had course notes. You teach at Stanford, Berkeley, and Columbia, which you may be the only teacher that I've ever met who actually has crossed so many great institutes. The world, the future, is it going to be a better place with the graduates that are coming out? What do they bring? What are they bringing to the table, or what do you hope they'll bring to the table to change the world?
I'm always impressed that my students are much smarter than I am. In fact, the only reason I still teach there is I have more time and grade, though definitely not any more smarts than they do. I think I'm just incredibly blown away. The difference between when I was a student and now is that entrepreneurship is an integral part of our culture. That we understand here not only in the U.S. but in China and India, that innovation culture is just as important as smokestack culture. And I think that's going to make this world change for the faster and better than anything we've seen to date.
Great. That's Steve Blank. We're here at Startup2Startup. You'll be able to see a little bit about the presentation online after this. Bye.